Empowering young people can come in so many different forms. The Cut Boyz and Style Girls summer camps allow kids to train in haircutting and styling and learn leadership and life skills while they do it. Kintae from the camp is joining us today.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we were just talking about this is such a unique opportunity to teach kids really important skills in hair cutting, in life, in everything. Can you tell me about your background and how you were really inspired to start this?
Growing up, it was a bit of some rough situations which led me to a pair of clippers at the age of 12. And I began cutting my hair, my cousin's brother's hair, and it was a way of surviving for us. Mm-hmm. And honestly, over the years, I've done quite a bit of youth work in different arenas. And this camp was developed as a way to be able to reach out to young people in a different kind of non-traditional way, to be able to provide technical skills, teach life lessons, as well as to offer an opportunity for them to be able to grow beyond the camp. So even after the camp, young people can continue to grow, and they desire to get into the hair business is awesome. If not, they have another survival skill on their tool belt.
Right, just to have options for things to do, you know, going forward, to have that and to have support from mentors like you, I'm sure is so incredibly important. Let's talk about some of those technical skills. If someone were to sign up for either of these camps, so you have Cut Boyz and Style Girls, can you tell me what kind of skills they would be learning in each of those? Okay,
so for the first camp, Cut Boyz, and our hashtag is Clippers Over Guns. The idea is that young people who desire to cut hair or who desire not to get in trouble or to stay away from risky behavior, they can sign up for the camp, and we're teaching everything. We'll teach them how to do clipper over comb. We'll teach them disinfection. We'll teach the 3 phases of hair growth. I'm a licensed professional. I'm also a licensed instructor with the state of Indiana. So we go in pretty deep. So the young people can come in, they learn everything they need to know about clipper cutting and how to get started if they so choose to. And then upon participating in the camp, we're teaching life skills, coping skills, leadership development. We'll be taking a trip to a barber college as well as some local barber shops, and then exposing them to things in the community to where they have opportunities to serve others. And we do train on mannequins.
Oh, yes. And like you were saying, so there are opportunities to not only be learning these skills, but to go out and visit people who are really doing this in their community as well. So that's fantastic to have that. And for the Style Girls, is that just styling? Or is it hair cutting? What does that look like?
So for Style Girls, our hashtag is Braids Over Babies. The idea behind Style Girls is the same kind of notion, but from the stylist perspective. So the young ladies will come in and they're learning a lot of natural styling. And this is where you get into your protective styles, your crochet styles, how to make wigs and lay wigs, how to know the difference between different textures of hair. And of course, we teach disinfection. So enough for them to, like, if they're interested in going into this field, they can. But we also have a health and wellness coach, we have a life coach, we have different individuals that come from the community. So we have several barbers, several stylists, and individuals from our community who have a heart for young people, who's willing to give up their time and say, hey, I'm willing to share, in hopes that they can stay away from some of these negative things that are pulling our young people down.
Yeah, that's incredible. Having a whole community come together, people of all different specialties to support young people in the community. I mean, that's incredible to see in this kind of initiative. But if people are interested in signing their kids up, if kids are signing up themselves, how does that work? How often do you meet with the camp?
Okay, as far as signing up, my wife Tanika and I, we've set up a website, and it's inspirationplace.net. That's the name of our non-profit organization, inspirationplace.net. Individuals can go right onto the website, and everything's there. They can click on the icon and then they can go right into the sign up. Camps will start the week of June 12th and they run through the week of July 21st. So it's a 5-week camp. We're off for the 4th, and we meet each camp meets twice a week from 1 to 4 p.m.
Okay.
And so they learn a lot along the way.
A lot to learn, a great way to stay busy and to keep those skills going. Well, Kintae, can you tell me about, we talked a little bit about this before, but what impact you're really seeing with this going forward in the community, the kind of impact that you want to have and that you think is going to happen with this kind of camp?
Okay, so if I can just be frank, a lot of our young people are dying. A lot of our young people are falling prey to the streets, falling prey to a lot of temptations out there, whether it's drinking, smoking, or getting involved in risky behavior that leads to something worse. Our goal is to be able to stop it. And how do we stop it? We have to stop it by providing some kind of competition. It's not enough to say put the guns down. It's not enough to say don't participate in a lot of these things that young people are getting caught up in. My thing is, how do we replace the gun? How do we replace the need or the feeling that I need to get involved with risky behavior? And we can do that through the camp. And I believe if we can put enough purpose before the young people's face, they can go forward with it. So whether they say, I want to cut hair right now, and this is something I can do to help survive, or whether they say, I want to go to a barber school. At the end of the day, I'd rather see a cut boy than a dope boy, a cut boy than a prison boy, a cut boy than a baby daddy. So, you know, it's a little different, but is a way to reach a non-traditional generation with non-traditional tools, because the traditional tools are not cutting it, if that makes sense.
Right, not cutting it, and being able to inspire these kids in so many different ways, you were saying, regardless of their path. So Kintae, I mean, I'm so inspired by this. Thank you so much for coming on to share all of this information, and we're going to be learning more too from a demo that we have later in the hour. So sign up, get your kids to come and sign up for Cut Boys and Style Girls. It's happening Mondays and Wednesdays, June 12th through July 19th, as Kintae was saying, and you can visit inspirationplace.net for more information.
Kintae is joining us again. We spoke earlier about some upcoming camps that you're offering for youth in our area, but you also have you brought some of your tools with you this morning here on Hometown Living to give us a few tips, maybe a little bit of a taste of what some of the young people will be learning in this camp. And I know you were able to share a little bit about your story, but you know, I want to ask again for our viewers that are tuning in for the first time, you know, why was this such an outlet for you? And now you've really made it a career, and you're passing on your skill set to younger people in our community.
Okay, for me, it became an outlet from a young age. My mother, she worked very hard and very intentional with us. She did have 3 of us by the time she was 19. And so that made life a little difficult, but we made it. And so I've experienced as a child living in homeless shelters, women's shelters, things like that. And for myself, I remember being 12, and my brother and I were bullied a lot because of how our hair was. And so I used a pair of clippers, and I cut my hair for the first time at age 12. And I've never put the clippers down since. And so from that point, I began cutting my brother, cousins, friends. And by the time I was 14, 15, I was cutting hair all around. I was doing free haircuts for young people all around. I was a young person cutting hair for young people.
You were.
So I know it works. And it became an outlet. I became independent my sophomore year in high school, so I was cutting hair and living from home to home until I was old enough to get my own place. And I've always used it as a mentoring tool. So youth is my background work. I did go to hair school later on to get my license. But I know it works because I was a cut boy myself.
You know it works.
Yes.
It became a great outlet for you, and now you're passing on some of those skills. So whether they're, you know, maybe utilizing this as a future career, or even just a way to make income to pursue other educational pursuits, or whatever their life journey brings them. So you brought with us some of your tools. Yes. I'm going to be learning firsthand. I'm going to be watching very closely. So what are you kind of showing us, and you're going to give us some tips? Maybe people are also doing this at home, or for themselves, for their kids. So what are some tips? We need all of the help.
All right. So our young people that come in, my wife Tanika and I, we had launched a school, Inspiration School of Beauty Culture. We did close it down during COVID, but I am a licensed professional and a licensed instructor with the state of Indiana. So when our young people come to the camp, we actually teach them like they're mini students. So we teach them a little bit of everything. So
I'm a mini student today.
We talk about the 4 corners of the head, the parietal ridge, clipper over comb, so on and so forth. And so today, what I did is just brought in my trimmers. We have a mannequin.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure we can see this.
And we're gonna practice on doing a hairline. Okay. And so in real life,
which is very important.
Yes, a hairline is half of the haircut.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we don't want to mess this up.
You know, you can have a messed up fade and a nice hairline.
Okay, you heard it here.
But you can't have a nice fade and a messed up hairline.
Okay, let's see it.
So with our young people, we can teach and train them on how to do the hairline and not putting too much pressure.
Okay.
And this is better than, you know, practicing on a person, you know, because, you know, by law, you know, they can't cut on people.
Yes.
But there's no law stating they can't learn on mannequins. And
there we go.
And so what I'm doing here is I'm going to the hairline. I'm doing it the best I can, holding the mannequin head. I
know, right. You know, we're doing the best we can with being able to also show it while you're doing it.
Exactly.
So I see you're going up and down.
What I'm doing is I'll hit the hairline, then I'll come down a little bit. I want to get some of the vellus hair.
Okay.
That's that light, fuzzy hair that might be on the hairline, so we can go up and down and clean it up really well. Okay. And go up to the line. Okay. You want to try it?
I do.
Hey.
Can you do my job? Can you hold this?
I can hold this.
Because I'm going to need that later. Where's the aunt? I told you I'm a mini student beginner. Okay, so we've got it.
Yep.
Okay.
So here.
So am I trying to follow the line that you created right here?
Yep. Follow the line. Go all the way around.
Okay, so I'm going your direction.
Yep. Let's stop around right there.
Okay.
So instead of going straight, you want to kind of tap the line, then come down a little bit, and then go over a little by little by little.
Okay. How am I doing? Well, I haven't done very much, so you probably can't even assess my progress.
Less is more. You're doing great.
Okay, I'm trying to go as slow and gently and very methodical as you were before. I'm just trying also not to take a chunk out of the mannequin. You know, that also is there.
That's a good thing about it being a mannequin. The young people can practice on mannequin, and if they so choose to after the camp, to get involved with hair, skin, and nails. In the state of Indiana, a person can apply for a barber school or cosmetology school at the age of 16. They can graduate.
Probably Bill didn't know that.
Yeah, they can graduate at age 17. They do have to have a 10th grade, at least enough credits to be a sophomore or a junior in high school.
And you mentioned a part of the camps. You know, I'm not doing the greatest. I'm just going to self-assess myself. I think I did not keep the straight.
That's what the practice is all about.
That's the practice. You know, for my very first time, at least getting comfortable. But you mentioned before you also are doing some tours, a part of this camp.
Yes.
To some of these spaces if they want to pursue that career. Yep. While I try to finish this, tell us a little bit about that again. Just remind you about the opportunities of these camps.
Okay. So the camps have a little bit more to do about survival, more to do about thriving. Than it does even with hair.
Right.
A lot of our young people are falling through the cracks, and we need a way to get them to stop falling through the cracks. And so in order to do that, we make it very, very tangible, very real. So we're not just learning on mannequins and teaching and training and bringing in experts. We're also going to take them out. Let's go take a look at a salon. Let's go step inside of a barber college or a cosmetology college. Let's do something different. And for a young person that says, I don't want to cut hair, I want to go into basketball, I want to go to become a doctor or a lawyer, you can do whatever you want to do. This right here is just another tool in a tool belt. I'm a fifth grade teacher over at Coquillard Elementary School in South Bend, and I want to give a shout out to my class, Classroom 25. Y'all rock. I love y'all.
We love that. Well, we're fortunately running out of time this morning because we want to make sure that we get some of this information out to our viewers because it's going to be a great opportunity for youth in our area. So check out that website right there on your screen for more information about both of these upcoming camps that are happening in June and July as well. So we want to make sure that you add that to your calendar for the summer.